although this panel is named Youth Are Present, the reality is all ages can participate in thinking young. But today we're very privileged to have a group of just great youth, and they really represent the future. And for me personally, it's a great honor to be up here. Great honor to speak with them and to be here with all the OPASTCO members. Actually, I'm going to try to follow my script here for once. So, the inspiration for this panel was actually at the OPASTCO Winter Conference. Anika Enos of Gila River Telecom gave an impassioned plea that we really need to look at what the youth are doing and how they're using things. And in fact, you can find this on the web at VOD.tv. But what it did for me was, I got so inspired. I went back to my room and I wrote the description for this panel. And I'll go into that a little bit. But as I was listening to Chris's comments today, and I had a chance to kind of look at his materials ahead of time, I really think what we're doing here is almost extension of the things Fred is doing, the good work that Fred's doing. And so, to some extent, this could have almost been an extension of his presentation. So the title of this presentation was stolen from an article I wrote originally maybe a year and a half ago. And it is kind of a double meaning. On one hand, a present meaning they're a gift to us. They truly are an asset. They are an asset in our community, and they are the future. But I think it has gone beyond the future. It used to be that you'd look at the youth and that was the future. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the reality is they are our present. They're leading us into the future today. So, with their willingness to try these new gadgets, they actually do that. And I've got a statistic here, a little chart from Kurt Scharf. He's the VP of Research of Parks Associates, a well-noted consumer research firm based in Dallas. And you can see, it obviously depends on the kind of device, and in this case they were looking at electronic devices, but you can see certain things, gaming devices and software, as you'd expect. That's something where the teams really pull and have the influence to make decisions and help the family make decisions, and printers and so forth. And I'm sure in your own personal lives, you guys have experienced that sort of thing. So, youth are the present in that they are a gift to our communities. And of course, I have to have a picture of my son somewhere in that presentation. So there they are. But without them, there is no future. And that's what fundamentally this panel is about. It's about community. And that's what independent telcos are about. They are the glue that binds the community together. And I didn't really realize this until I had kids of my own. But now I kind of get that. I'm probably not doing a good enough job of it, but I understand that that's what kids do for us. And in doing that, what it means is helping the kids build the assets they need so that they can build the communities of the future. So I've been doing a little research, and actually kind of fell into my lap through our church. But there's this group called the Search Institute. And what they've done, it's based in Minneapolis, and they've studied why some kids go on and are good citizens and some kids don't. And what they found is there's 40 developmental assets. And I think they're kind of scrolling through some of those assets now. There are things like having an environment where they know their neighbors are looking after them, having things like boundaries. And this is an example of the workbook here. So it's not just parents, but it's family. It's the extended family. It's your neighbors. It's even the organizations in the community. And obviously the independent telcos realize that. In a nutshell, what the Search Institute says, it's up to all of us to help build these assets. So, I know everything I've talked about is kind of platitudes, and how does this relate to telecom, directly? Well, let me read this quote here, and I want to thank Sherry Colgate for letting me use one of her slides there, one of her pictures. This is from the workbook. It's a good quote in there. In Georgetown, Texas, where utility workers are trained in asset building. These guys have a program where you can learn what these assets are and how to apply it in real life. So in Georgetown, Texas, where utility workers are trained in asset building, service trucks bear a Safe Place logo so that young people in an emergency can spot help quickly. So that's just one example of how a service provider might be able to help in this community development. And I really think this program is worth investigating further. So, personally, I'm impacted by kids. This is an example of a web board, a whole web program that was developed by a 17-year-old, and it has 13-year-olds supporting it. And I actually used it for a time for some of the web forums that we have. And I'm constantly humbled and impressed by the skills of this new generation. These kids are really sharp, and especially the example of this kid. He also had a very strong sense of faith, and he had a very strong sense of right and wrong. Really impressive. So, example from the San Jose Mercury News, I was just showing the group here, this energy startup fueled by imagination of kids. They're working on a concentrated solar energy cell, and the CEO is 13, and the controller is 11, the CTO is 11. And, probably go somewhere in Silicon Valley, so you never know. So, today's panelists are no exception to what I've been talking about. We had pizza on Monday, and I just really came away from it feeling really comfortable from knowing that this is going to be a good panel, regardless, despite me being on it, because they're just got really good, solid family backgrounds, and they're just very good kids. You can tell that they're going to do well as they move on. So. Let me just talk about one other thing here. One of the things, when Kathleen mentioned that we were going to do this panel, she said, well, the Education Committee would like to get some data and, be able to have you kind of intersperse some data points and so forth. So instead of just going to the web and maybe calling some analyst friends and things like that, I decided, well, why don't we create our own survey? So I worked with several independent telcos, and I guess I've listed several of them here. And what they did, we created a survey together, an online survey, and then they provided that survey to their youth. Like Sherry at Sierra used the Boys and Girls Clubs, and she actually got half the responses. 17 responses were from California, so it was a little biased, but it is a rural part of California, so it probably has more in common with any rural part of the United States than it does with, say, San Jose. But I think that in principle, this kind of methodology could work really well. If we got enough telcos participating in it and spread out to enough groups, we could have some really good data. And interestingly, when I was talking to Kurt Scharf, who's the research fellow at Parks Associates, and they do a lot of primary research, they do not know how rural youth are using media and technology. They do general surveys, but they really haven't been able to target that demographic. So I think that this is something worth exploring. I think what we have as a start, it's not probably statistically big enough to really say, okay, this is what it's like for everywhere. But there's definitely some interesting comments and interesting trends and information in this. And so as we go throughout the panel today, I'll hopefully intersperse some of those comments and make it lively. And coincidentally, 12 to 21 is about what we were looking for. And on this panel, we're about 13 to 20 or so we're well represented there. If you want to get these comments or some of these links, here's the information. And see me afterwards if you need these links, because I'm going to skip to the next overhead. And now, and unfortunately, I guess we should have been seated in this order. I didn't think about that. But we're going to start, now we're going to start the panel. And we're going to start by asking a couple of simple questions, like how old are you? Where are you from? Do you work? Are you a student? And what was the question? What's your favorite thing to do when you're not on a panel? So, Andrew, why don't we start with you? And you're next.
I'm Andrew Merrill. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm a junior at the University of Oklahoma studying international and area studies. I'm here with Samsung, and my favorite movie is scuba diving.
Hi, my name is Amanda Merrill. I am his sister, of course. I am a sophomore at the University of Oklahoma studying political science. My favorite thing to do while I'm out in this panel would be dancing, of course.
My name is John Gordon. I'm from Greenville, Wisconsin. I'm 13 years old and I'm going to 8th grade. My favorite thing to do would have to be tennis.
My name is Mariah Gordon. I'm also from Greenville, Wisconsin, and I'm going to be a senior at Union High School this year, 17. And my favorite thing to do is dancing.
My name is Brian Ponville. I'm a junior economics major at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. I'm originally from Garland, Texas. In the summer, I'm working at Samsung Telecommunications in Richardson. I guess in my spare time, when I'm not working or studying, I like to play tennis also. So.
My name is Lily Marin. I'm 17 years old. I'm going to be a senior in high school. And I'm from Chatham, New Jersey. And my favorite thing to do is probably hang out with my friends.
My name is Dave. Yeah, and I'm from Chatham, New Jersey. We're in 8th grade, and my favorite thing to do is play lacrosse.
My name is Ian Lee. I'm a 17-year-old senior at Emma High School in Raleigh, and when I'm not here in front of all you wonderful people, I like to sail.
So, one of the things, generation gap, this is always a good generation gap question. Well, let's just start a quick answer on this one. We'll go down the line. We'll start with Dewey and then come back this way at a time. So, what's your favorite kind of music?
I really prefer classic rock, like the Beatles or Leonard Skinner, and I'd say it's probably just because I'm from the South, and that's the big thing down there. But I'm pretty eclectic in my taste. I like all types of music, although my favorite is classic rock.
Excellent.
I also like classic rock. I like The Who and stuff. So that's my favorite type of music.
We won't be fooled again then.
My favorite type is emo, screamo, post-hardcore. Yeah, I'm kind of new stream. I'm not really into the classic rock, but yeah, that's what I listen to.
So, new stream, is that the term?
Yeah, mainstream, new stream,
Okay.
So
So, new stream is beyond mainstream.
yeah.
All right, I learned something new. This is great. See, we got one thing we learned right now. I'm learning that one down, new stream. I like it.
Well, I guess I probably shouldn't say this since I'm from Texas, but I'll listen to basically anything but country and rap.
If you combine the two of them, well, I won't go there.
I listen to any kind of music really, but mainly hip-hop.
Can you hear it, by the way? Oh. Is there something wrong with the mic? Okay, we can. Why don't we jump ahead to Amanda, then we'll come back to Maureen and Robbie, so go ahead.
Well, I basically like most type of music, but I have to say, since I'm a dancer, my favorite type of music would be hip-hop as well.
There's something in common there, the dancing, hip-hop, okay.
I'm more like Brian. I like all types of music except for
It doesn't bode well for country if people from Oklahoma and Texas, young people aren't. So, Maureen, why don't you repeat your...
I like any kind of music, but my favorite is hip-hop.
I don't really care what I listen to. It just depends on what I'm feeling like at the moment.
Okay, that's a good one. Interestingly, in the survey, rock and roll came out number one still, followed by hip-hop and then pop. So, what do these definitions mean? Although, there were quite a few others, and some of those others, there were quite a few, like emo, screamo, hardcore, things I'd never heard of. And again, it just points to how out of touch I am. So this, and again, some of these first questions are just kind of get a feel for, what people are doing these days. And one of the questions that we talked about the other day is how often do you eat dinner with your parents. Obviously, if you're in college, think back when you were in high school and so forth. So, just a quick answer, how often do you think in a week you eat dinner with your parents? Whoever has the microphone closest.
I usually eat dinner with my family almost every night of the week, except for maybe Sunday night when I was back in school.
I, of course, would eat every night with my family, but even on Sundays because he wasn't there for us, so that's okay.
Since I'm still in middle school, we usually eat with my family, so we're pretty close family, so.
Yeah, we eat usually about 7 days a week together, so.
How's the cooking? No, I'm just kidding.
About 5 times a week for my family.
Same, 5 times.
Is that Mike having problems now too?
We normally eat dinner as a family about 5 or 6 times a week during the school year. In the summer, it gets a little more complicated because one of my sisters will be at camp or somewhere. But I always eat dinner, I would say at least 5 or 6 times a week throughout the year with at least 2 members of my family.
Interestingly, there was a survey from a website, and again, this was a kind of an offshoot of this Search Institute, MV Parents, and MV Parents, 1,500 people online. They found that 72% of the people could answer yes to that question. Did you eat, with your family in the last 2 days, type of thing. Now, of course, I suspect that's somewhat biased because the people who are answering that are interested in parenting and so forth, so they're going to the site. So it's probably a little bit biased. In the survey we did, 79% had been every other day. And here, this group would be 100%. So like I said, this group probably doesn't represent the total spectrum that they, just in terms of the things they're doing, how they're getting winners. So here's a question, and this should be interesting for Lynn and Ron to find out what the answer is, and Warren. Who's the most tech-savvy person in your household?
I would have to say it's a tie between either my father or my older brother, but Amanda would say probably my older brother.
Let's see what Amanda says.
Yes, I would agree. It would be my oldest brother.
It's like, I'd say that my dad is the best at fixing the technical gadgets, but my sister's the best at, with the features.
I'd probably have to agree that my dad and my sister are probably the tech-savvy ones.
Does it sound bad if I say myself?
And you know what? The majority of the people who responded to the survey said, yeah, that was what they said. Kyle Longshot.
I'd say myself and my dad.
I would have to agree and say my sister because she uses the computer a lot.
I find I'm the best at using new features or new programs that come out, but that my dad he's the one who can program something. So if I need something new installed, he's the one who can program it, but I'm the one who knows how to use it when it first comes out, and I'm the quickest to learn and adapt to the new technology.
That's an interesting point that you said. Does that kind of resonate with people of teenagers? Alan's shaking his head yes. Okay, so this is a question. Whose influences you the most in terms of, if you're going to purchase something, say it's a camera or a phone or a computer, who is the most influential?
I would have to say my friends.
Definitely my friends in the media.
What kind of media?
Like
Print media, magazines, or
magazines, TV, basically every type of media that there is.
You're a multimedia person.
I am a multimedia person.
Probably my friends and magazines.
I'd probably have to say the media and my dad.
What sort of media again? Sorry.
Any kind of media, really.
Okay.
Well, the first factor for me is whether or not I can get my parents to pay. And then second, on a college campus, you see all these new gadgets come out, and you're probably most influenced by what your peers have around you, or what you see them using in class. So.
I'd say my friends and the internet, because I use it a lot.
I'd have to say my friends and probably the TV, because I watch TV a lot.
I'd have to say probably subconsciously, probably the TV and what I see around school. But if I'm consciously going to somebody, my friends and family have the most weight in my decision.
You know, it's interesting because the survey said the same thing. Your friends, you know, and maybe what that points to is even though the way they consume media, the way they adapt to it, and so forth may change and they may get faster and stuff, but maybe there's still the most important connection is that physical connection and how you connect with people, and it really is a one-to-one sale, and that's kind of what I got out of that. So here's an important question. Do you pay for your own communication services? And then I'm going to have a follow-up on that one.
No, I do not.
Yeah, so just be a quick yes/no on this one, because I got to follow up. So.
Well, I'm supposed to, but I try not.
I don't.
No, I don't.
You can probably tell from my previous answer that I don't either.
It's half and half.
It's what is it? I'm sorry.
It's half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably split the bill together. My family.
My parents would like me to, but I don't currently.
So here's the question, okay? And I don't think I asked this specifically on the, I guess it's kind of implicit. So if you had to, pay for one service, a regular landline telephone, cellular, broadband internet, or say cable television, which one would you pay for?
I would use my cell phone. I pay for my cell phone.
Okay.
I would personally pay for my cell phone because it comes with everything else. So,
So you get broadband, you can watch
Yeah.
videos, you can listen to music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably pick my cell phone too.
Yeah, I'd go with the cell phone.
Take the cell phone also, and then try and hop off my neighbor's network.
So you want a Wi-Fi phone, is that right?
My cell phone.
Yeah, my cell phone too.
I guess I'm the odd one out. I'd take the internet.
Interesting. Well, I think there actually were some of the respondents did actually pay for some of their communication services. And we didn't get a lot of responses back on this, but 2 paid for telephone, 2 paid for internet, 3 for cable TV, and 6 for cell phone. So I think it kind of, reinforces this point that that's probably the best utility for them, or they find it's the best value. Yeah, so that was kind of that one. This is a question that Brian came up with, I think, the other day, pizza. It's worth asking. And it's not about illegal downloads, so don't worry, you guys. How often do you guys use a landline telephone?
I rarely use a landline telephone. The only time I would actually use it is if my cell phone is dead.
I'll usually only use a landline telephone when I'm at home and my sister calls or relatives call.
Okay. So incoming calls, basically.
But whenever I'm at home, I always use that, because I don't really go out that often where I would need a cell phone. So I'd say my landline phone.
I usually use the landline phone when I'm at home. I try to use my cell phone. My parents don't like that as much, but.
Well, I believe my response yesterday was, I only answer it when I am answering sales calls. Was that?
That's right, you said, that's right.
I never really use it. So.
Yeah, I use my cell phone more than I use the landline phone.
I answer calls on the landline phone, but rarely make them.
That's kind of interesting, Libby's comment about the rarely using the cell phone or landline because, I guess yours was that too, Amanda, but there was a study a couple years ago from the University of Chicago saying that 9th grade girls spend an average of 3 hours a day on the telephone. So it's probably a little bit dated study, right? It was probably cell phone these days. Which does kind of jump into this next question, if how do you communicate with your friends? Is it email, text messaging, social networking sites, like a Facebook type of thing? Do you use the telephone to actually talk to friends? How are you guys communicating?
I would rather use my cell phone, but they usually like to either text message or to use Facebook.
With my friends, it would be text messaging and Facebook.
With my friends, it would probably be instant messaging on the computer.
I like to use either texting or talking to them on the cell phone.
I've used anywhere from a combination of email, Facebook, cell phone, any other kind of media I can utilize to contact my friends. So.
Usually I use text messaging, but if I haven't talked to my friends in a while, probably Facebook.
I would call my friends on the cell phone mostly.
Phone and Facebook for me, unless it's something really important, and then I'll either email because that way they have a permanent copy.
We'll go on to the Facebook in a second, but first I want to ask you a little bit about the kinds of devices that you find important, whether it be cell phones, cameras, computers, or whatever. What sort of thing do you find the most important electronic device? What's that thing you have to have?
I usually have to have my cell phone.
I can't live without my cell phone.
Probably my cell phone and the computer.
I probably couldn't live without my cell phone or my iPad.
For me, it's my laptop. In college, you pretty much live on your laptop. So.
I can't live without three things, which are my cell phone, my laptop, and my iPod.
For me, it's my gaming system, the Xbox.
It's the computer for me.
I heard this in a couple of the comments just now. I heard a combination of cell phone, iPod, and computer. So, what do you guys think about the iPhone? Any comments on that? I know, Amanda, you have something to say because someone in your sorority has one, right? So.
Yes, a girl in my sorority does have one, and I got to play with it. But to me, it just seems very fragile, and it's very expensive, and so I wouldn't want to have it just because carrying around my purse, I think it would break easily. And me being a poor college student, I don't have the money to go cash out and buy a brand new one. So.
That's a good response. Anyone else want to comment on the iPhone?
I think it'd be too hard to use. Just looking at it, it's a touch screen. I'd be afraid if it broke.
So, George, you can come up next and run this where we are. So you guys are obviously, you spend a lot of time in media and stuff like that. How much time do you think on, we won't ask that question, we'll ask, what do you spend the most time on? Is it watching TV, on your computer, cell phone? And what do you spend the most time doing? Or is it a good question because you're doing them all at once?
Well, I kind of use all of them at once, but the one I use the most is my computer.
I would have to agree. I use mine, when I'm typing papers, I'll be on my cell phone talking with friends, but I will probably say in college I use my laptop a lot.
I probably use the computer a lot during the school year for typing up papers and stuff. And then once it gets to the summer, I use my cell phone because I don't really even use too many of the electronics during the summer.
I don't know, sometimes I try to use a lot of different things all at the same time, but mainly I use my cell phone.
Yeah, it's not too uncommon for me to find myself working on my laptop while I'm watching Glenn Beck or something on CNN. So.
My cell phone, probably.
I use the TV the most. I lay down on the couch and watch TV.
Now, David, you also use the Xbox with the TV too. Is that part of it in gaming? You get online on the Xbox?
You can, but it's too expensive for me.
Oh, okay.
I use the computer most of the time, but I find I'll have the TV on in the background just for noise, actually, all the time too.
Interesting. Where are your computers, by the way? Are they in kind of a common living room, or do you guys have them in your rooms, or is anyone feel free to jump?
We usually have them in our own rooms, but I also have my laptop, so it kind of travels around the house with me.
Well,
Yeah.
my laptop goes everywhere with me, so.
I have mine in my room.
Yeah, I have mine in my room too. It's a laptop, so it moves anywhere.
Oh, go ahead.
My parents won't let us have them in our own rooms, so we have to keep them in the computer room.
Do you guys have TVs in your rooms? Or?
No.
I think I'm the only one, if I remember correctly, from yesterday. So.
What's that? You're only
With a TV in my room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. It's too hard for me to remember that one. But another phenomenon that a lot of maybe is difficult for older people to understand, such as myself, is this whole social community phenomenon. The Facebook, for instance. I noticed that a lot of you said Facebook. I didn't hear MySpace. But you're using Facebook to communicate, actually, with your friends. So tell us a little bit about that, how it works. What other communities are out there that you guys use, or maybe your friends use? So go ahead, man.
Well, with Facebook, I'm able to contact people that I haven't seen in a long time. Maybe someone I went to elementary school with, and I ran into them at college, and they were able to look me up. And also, I'm able to talk to people about schoolwork. A lot of people use Facebook to discuss getting together for meetings, for classes, to work on group projects.
Okay, interesting.
For me, I like to use Facebook to communicate with friends. Like, I have a friend who lives here in Anchorage, and so during the summer when I don't get to see her, we communicate through Facebook that way. And then during school, we also have, like my brother said, you can set up different groups where you can communicate. We had a class where our teacher would have us pick each, fill in different types of questions we would want on the test. And so in our group, since you can't see it if you're not in our group, we would each write down the questions and then the answers for the test. That way we could all do all the tests.
My parents don't allow me to use Facebook or MySpace, so I just practically live on IM.
I just don't use Facebook. So.
And well, I think as Amanda said, that Facebook, that's a new one, or Spacehead in my case, that MySpace, kind of creepy. Is that?
So, well, I'm not too familiar with MySpace, but I know a lot of people that converted over to Facebook just because of the additional security that Facebook provides, because you're in kind of a closed network, and you have different privacy settings over your profile, so you can limit how much your friends can see. I guess if you don't like a particular friend as much as another friend, you can not let them have access to as much information. But a lot of people are kind of shifting over to Facebook because of that.
Maureen, I think you had some comments on that, didn't you? On Space then?
Yeah, I use Facebook a lot. It's just safer, I would think, because I deleted my MySpace because it was just, no one had it anymore, and all my friends decided to get Facebook, so I did what the cool kids did and got a Facebook.
Influenced by your peers again, yeah.
I don't use Facebook or MySpace.
I use Facebook mainly because MySpace is plastered with ads, and Facebook is really simple and easy to use. It's got just a white page, and so it's really easy to filter and find things, and that's key for mine.
David, you answered that kind of quickly, but are there other things like RuneScape or some of these online gaming type virtual worlds that your friends are in or anything?
Yeah, they use Xbox Live, which allows you to hook up to the computer and play each other when they're at their house and you're at your house. But again, I'm too cheap.
I agree with you. I'm too. So we'll kind of jump back to out of the Facebook and back into the cell phone, but really, and it's not a cell phone, but really any kind of device. When you purchase this, or you can connive your parents or someone else to purchase it for you. And what are the most important things? Is it features? Is it the cost of it? Is it the design? How it looks? Is it because it looks cool? Is it how easy it is to use? What are the factors that you guys look at?
I'd probably look at the overall design, the size, and the weight, obviously, and then also how user-friendly the interface is, you know, and then of course also the additional features that the product provides.
For me, it would be durability and service.
For me, because I'm a girl, I like it to look pretty. So I want the features, I want it to be cool. And then since I am in college, I also need a lot of different things that on my phone I have Microsoft Office. That way when I'm in class, I can take notes. And then I can also download my professor's PowerPoints onto my cell phone. That way I can look at it and I can highlight things that I like.
I probably like the easy use and features.
I'd have to go with the same with the design. You always want something looking nice, but I also like the features that it has.
The design and the size, because I like it to look really nice and better than my friends.
Yeah, I look at the design, the color.
For me, it's all about balance. Like, if it has a ton of features, but I can't get to them, it's just the same as not having features at all. So I look for, phones that have, a few menus, you can get to stuff quickly, and size and weight are definitely important for me, because I don't want a huge amount in my pocket as I'm carrying around school.
Yeah, and just looking, and it didn't have to necessarily be phone, it could be other things, but looking at the responses, it's all, it's pretty well balanced too among those parameters. Well, okay, so now we will talk specifically about a cell phone. Obviously, that's a very high priority for you guys. What do you guys look for in that? Is it making phone calls? Is it sending text messages? Being able to store files? What sort of things do you look for in a cell phone? This time we'll start with Ian and work this way, just to kind of mix it up.
I'm not really a big cell phone user, so, I look for balance and things, like I said before, but really it comes down to if you can make a phone call.
I look at how much information it can hold and contacts with your friends and stuff.
As long as it has text messaging, I'm pretty good.
Depends on whether I can get signal where I live. That's probably the first one, and then the other ones that kind of ranks down towards features and all those other things.
I don't know, I kind of want I like the texting and just being able to make a phone call would be great.
Probably the texting and how good of service it gets in certain areas that I like going to.
For me, it would have to be the features and texting. Like when you're sitting in class waiting for a professor to talk, it's kind of nice when your class size is 500 people and your friends all the way across the room just sit there and text, or when the professor's boring, you can sit there and text in class.
It's the modern day version of passing notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to go to remote places, so if I can get service to wherever I go, I really like that. And also, I tend to drop my phone a lot, so the durability is so it doesn't break.
That's a good one. In the survey, it really pretty much parallels what you guys said. Phone calls was number one, followed by texting, followed by what Rob Reardon pointed out, being able to tell what time it is. That was actually number three, the clock feature. So,
Yeah, I actually don't wear a watch anymore. I just use my phone.
Let's do a quick poll on that. How many use their cell phone as their watch? How about in the audience? How many use their cell phone as their watch? That's pretty good. Actually, I figured there'd be more hands in that one. So, what sort of devices do you use to watch video? Andrew?
I usually use my computer, because I don't have a TV in my dorm room, and the computer goes everywhere.
Now, what about when you graduate? Do you think it'll continue to be that? So you get an apartment or a condo or something, you're living the good life?
No, I'll get a really nice TV.
Okay.
For me, I have a TV in my dorm, so I use the television, but I also use my laptop for when I have shows on that when I'm in class and I can't view them, I can just go online and watch them then.
I probably use the TV the most, but my dad also has a computer that we can record shows on, so I'll use that sometimes too when I want to watch a certain show that I'm recording.
Usually I like to use either the TV or just the computer.
My primary source of video comes from the TV, but then a majority of my news actually I get online. I'll watch the articles or the pieces on CNN, and then you'll also be surprised to find how entertaining or how fast an hour can pass by on YouTube. So.
I like to use my computer and also my iPod, because they came out with the video iPods, and I usually watch not TV but just videos and stuff.
Like when you say videos, are these music videos or short videos? Or?
Yeah, and they have movies too. It's like a cheap way to get a movie for $9. So
if you watched the entire 1.5 hour, 2 hour movie on your iPod?
yeah, but you know the battery's gets pretty low after 2 hours. But I watch it on my iPod instead of TV.
Has anyone else done that? Watch the entire movie on an iPod or similar small device?
Cool, I'm the only one.
Yeah, right? No, there's others out there. Sure.
Our family buys a lot of movies on TV from like pay-per-view and stuff.
Yeah, hands down, it's definitely the TV for me because I'm kind of a stickler for the quality of the grainy YouTube videos have.
Okay, that's interesting. Where it's going. Where do you watch them? It sounds like if it's TV, it's probably at home. But just quick answer: where do you watch these videos?
Most of the time I don't have any time unless I'm at home to watch the videos, so I have to stay at my house.
I would say I watch them mainly in my dorm rooms.
Probably my house.
Yeah, probably at home.
In my house or dorm room.
My house.
Yeah, my house too.
At home.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the survey said. So in a way, no big surprise, I guess. We probably expected that. There was an interesting statistic, though, I heard in Europe, where they have mobile videos a little bit further along. Something like 40% of the actual views are in the house. So people are watching the videos in their house. So it points to the whole idea of giving people mobility in the house, and I think that's why the Sling Box, if any of you are familiar with the Sling Box, which allows you to basically take your TV and transmit it to your computer or to your cell phone. But it gives you that, cuts the cord so you can walk around the house and watch it anywhere. I have a friend who uses it so he can watch his TV while he's in his hot tub, and it works over his wireless network. So I think that is an important point maybe to this, that we do want to watch it at home, but maybe not where the TV is. So what sort of TV programs? When I grew up, there was basically CBS, ABC, NBC, little PBS, and some UHF stations. There wasn't a lot of choice. What are you guys watching now? Is it broadcast TV like ABC? Is it Nickelodeon? I mean, if you think about your favorite show, where is that favorite show? Where is it on YouTube?
I usually watch Fox News or CNBC.
I'm a little different. I like ABC and CBS. And I guess you would say MTV.
Okay.
I'll watch USA and Cartoon Network.
Usually ABC, CBS, or USA.
Well, I'm a sucker for any rerun of Friends or Seinfeld, and then I'm also addicted to 24.
I'm not a really big TV fan, but I like this channel called Fuse, which is like MTV, but it's more independent, and I enjoy it, so it's more music, so I like it.
Yeah, I watch most of my shows on TBS, sometimes HBO.
I'm an NBC, CNN, Comedy Central person.
NBC or CNBC?
NBC.
NBC, okay, actual NBC, the old network. Okay. So it kind of correlates to the survey. The most popular were the cable networks, the CNNs of the world, the Nickelodeons, that sort of thing, followed by broadcast. Although actually YouTube, actually I should say internet. I'm surprised no one really said the internet. No one said the OTT. I mean, no one said YouTube or anything like that in the responses. So anyway, this is kind of surprising. So that does kind of lead to this question. How many of you here have actually uploaded to YouTube or any other sharing device? Okay. Oh, you have 2 yet? Oh, I didn't catch that. Now, is that on a regular basis, Ian?
No, it's pretty limited. I'm probably, actually, here in Alaska, we took some video on our camera the other day, and I'm thinking about uploading that so friends back home can see it.
Okay. Oops, it sounds like we've got things. I guess that's what that bell was. And then through, now, what about uploading via Facebook so you can have videos so your friends can see it? Any of you guys done that?
I've uploaded a YouTube video and I linked it through Facebook. So, but that was kind of a one-time thing.
And actually, you can see his video on Vioni.com. I posted it on there. It's really clever. He used it to help his election campaign as external vice president at Baylor University, and he won. So I think he can dispense maybe political advice to the candidates in 2008. So, I've been asking a lot of questions. Do we have some from the audience? Anyone want to elaborate on anything that said? Alan has something.
Wondering what their average text messages are in a month.
Well, it's a lot, but I talked to my parents about this plan with Verizon. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's like unlimited for people who have Verizon, but it's $10 a month, so that's what I pay. So yeah, it's okay, it's good, but a lot of my friends have Verizon, but I have this one friend who has T-Mobile, of all people, and she happens to be my best friend. So yeah, I told her to change it up. So.
Actually, what I was after is the number of messages, not the dollars spent.
Probably maybe 500 a month. It depends. It really depends. So.
I just looked. I have 198 for the last 3 months. So.
Luckily, I can only text my parents, so it's not that many.
Now, can they text you back and say, clean up your room and things like that? Or?
Well, I don't really use it to do that. It's just usually come pick me up.
One of the comments you guys made was that the advantage of texting is that you can text even when you don't have good cell service. Is that? What about other folks as far as texting?
I have unlimited text messaging, so I choose not to repeat numbers.
We have some. Oh, here we go.
Well, I just wanted to add something, by the way. We just discovered the other day that I think it was on the 3rd of July, went over 8 million text messages in one day. On our system.
And
so
how many?
200,000 customers. So I mean, in 200,000 people, we've got 1 million text messages going on. And I should say that the queen of text messaging is either my wife or my middle daughter. But they've got to the point now where we find that if a person texts, like my daughter Maureen accounting will text like crazy, she texts my wife, which then got my wife to learn how to text, so she now texts everybody. So it's kind of like a virus. It goes and of course the fact that we're in minutes a day doesn't really remind you either. So.
I'm very this is not technical. I'm a grandmother and a teacher. And what I want to know is, in our school, they don't allow cell phones. In these schools, are the children allowed to take cell phones to school?
Well,
at college it would be all right, but I'm just wondering, we're very big about not having cell phones in school.
Well, at my school, they're not permitted per se, but there are many students who, in the hallways or in the back of a boring class, will flip one out under the desk.
Yeah, in New Jersey they allow cell phones in school. They like you to turn it off, but kind of overlook that rule.
In my school, it's kind of the teachers kind of hope that you turn your phone off, and sometimes if they catch you texting in the back of the room, they take it away. So.
I just want, and as a grandmother, and John and my children didn't grow up with cell phones, and I have 2 younger. How early did y'all get your cell phones? What age do people get cell phones these days?
I got mine when I was going to be a freshman in high school, because all my other friends started to get one, and I was like, you know what, Mom, I kind of want one. And she was like, all right, well, you're going into high school, so it was a safety factor too.
Right, mine was a safety factor also because I went off to 8th grade in middle school and it was about half an hour drive away, so I got a cell phone then. But I actually have a 10-year-old sister now who's getting one too, so.
I don't think I got mine until I got my driver's license.
Right around 13, I got one that I could use for like emergency uses, and then after that, when I turned 16, that's when I got a cell phone of my own.
Actually, to address the prior question, I actually, with people, some people actually do get addicted to text messaging. I have a friend, Cameron, who said roughly like over 10,000 in a month and had like a $1,200 overage bill. She now has the unlimited plan.
Are her thumbs, does she have arthritis now in her thumbs? Or?
I'm sorry?
Oh, does she have arthritis in her thumbs, your friend?
Probably, actually. I don't know. She lives in Denmark, so I haven't seen her in a while.
Lynn has a question.
Yeah, nice survey here. I've got a couple. First one is, does any of you read the newspaper? And if so, what do you read? Sunday? Every day?
Does the sports page count?
Yeah, why don't we show it, the show of hands, how many people read the newspaper? And then was it on a daily basis?
Yeah, is it daily or Sunday or?
I usually get the Wall Street Journal at school every day and read it, but that's only during the school year.
I try and read an article through the day.
Actually, I don't really read articles, I read the comics.
I'll read the sports page every day, and if I see an article on the front page that kind of jumps out at me, I'll read that too.
All right, I'll glance at the front page, glance at the sports page, and every day, and then come the weekends, I'll catch up on the weekends.
How many do you pay for it? Yeah, okay, that kind of speaks for itself. The other question is, what search engine do you use?
Google.
I use Google too, and also ask.com.
I use Google as well.
I do too.
I usually use Google.
Any other comments on search engines? Lindy, is that it, Lindy?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Well, Keith, are we about out of time? Okay, so I want to give the panel a big hand and thank you all for